Hello and welcome to HiveState Bakugan. Today we're going to be breaking down my favorite faction, Aquos. So some little Aquos cards have a neat ability called Flow. Now, what Flow does is, well, it's an ability that gets better if you've already played a card before it. For an example, Wave Slash is an ability that gives you plus 300 B power for 3 energy. However, if you've played a card before you're playing this card, you're getting, for 3 energy, plus 1000 B power, and that's often quite a hard hurdle to get over. Now, if you're playing a faction that's wanting to play multiple cards in a turn to get the best effects, needless to say, the faction needs to give you ways to get there, and Aquos does that in 2 specific ways. The first way Aquos will help you set up these combos is through draw power, and there are quite a few ways to draw cards in this faction. A couple being like, there's an ability card that for a couple energy you can draw 2 cards and then you're putting that ability back on the bottom of your deck. Or there's an evolution that permanently boosts your Bakugan's power and it's letting you draw like 3 cards. So there's quite a few ways to draw cards in Aquos. The next way that Aquos helps you play multiple cards is by having cheaply costed cards. And some of them on their own aren't too great, but what makes them great is if you're using them to turn on flow cards. So for an example, some of my favorites would be like Greater Water Boost and Inspire. One of them just gives you an extra 100 Bs, but at 0 energy, so it's super easy to throw that in front of pretty much any card to activate your flow. And Inspire does roughly the same thing, but it lets you draw a card. However, it does cost an energy. However, if you're only playing a deck with Aquos, I highly suggest Flooding Waters. For 1 energy, it gives you plus 200 B for every Aquos Bakugan you're playing with. So if you're using 3 Aquos, that is 1 energy for plus 600. That's great early game, that's great late game. That is just a great card. I also feel like I need to mention these 2 cards, not because they do anything with what we were talking about, but they feel very Aquos to me, and that's Triple Blast Cannon and Absorb. These are great counter cards that really just tell your opponent no. The first one is just a 3 cost that counters a card that your opponent played. Not bad. The second one, for 1 more energy, doesn't technically cancel what your opponent did, but lets you target whatever you want it to target. So if your opponent just played something to give them plus 1000 Bs, why not play it on yourself? I don't know, I like the cheeky cards. I do believe this is where we're gonna end this breakdown video. In the original game, I loved the Aquos Bakugan, and really, nothing's changed over the years. So, if you'd like to see any of the other attributes be broken down like I just did for Aquos, there will be a playlist for that if you're watching past January of 2019. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe and stick around. There's like 3 new Bakugan videos every single week, so click the bell to be notified when I post them. But whether you do or whether you don't, you'll see me when you see me.